Sriram. He is a professor at Asian College of Journalism. He is also a very a, a renowned person. He's handled social media. He's been an editor. He's worked as a journalist. So he's here to talk more about social media to us.
Yes. So, social media for us means Facebook and Twitter, but there's a bigger picture to it. Can you tell us what social media really means? Is it just confined to Facebook and Twitter?
So far as journalism is concerned, you become a journalist when you outgrow Facebook and Twitter, as is the way you are using now. What has happened with social media is it's actually expanded the boundaries of journalism and pushed the boundaries of journalism to the next level, which is interactivity. So it's all about interactivism. It's about convergence of the traditional and the old media and being social. So here, the fundamental change that social media has brought about is in the nature of your audience. So your audience, the audience has been in the traditional media. Your audience is a passive receiver of information, whereas with the advent of social media, the role of audience has actually has been elevated into one of that of an active participant in the communication. So basically, in other words, mass communication has become communication by the masses.
So can you completely rely on news from social media?
How credible is that news that's coming via Twitter and Facebook?
To give you an example, like in 2012, this year back in March, if you look at the Pulitzer Prize, the coveted Nobel Prize in journalism, and if you look at the who won the Pulitzer Prize in journalism, you wouldn't find Washington Post there, the mother of all breaking news stories. You wouldn't see it, but you would see the Huffington Post and you would see Politico.com. So if they are at a level where you can actually look, or you can actually go and win a Pulitzer in journalism for a .com thing. So they must be doing something right. So it sends you a message. So okay. So let's come back to the credibility. Your question, the credibility. There are tons of actually tools and platforms where you can actually verify the information that come through social media. Okay, one of the downsides of social media, just to expand your question a little bit more, is you are flooded, you are deluged with unsolicited and unsubstantiated information.
Okay. There's an information overload there.
So there are tools. There are tools and a lot of tools to verify. For example, and if you get a picture from say Citizen Journalism and claiming to be, for example, if you look back at the Hurricane Sandy recently that hit New York, there've been a lot of fake pictures about Sandy, and you have there are like TinEye, and there are a lot of other things where you can actually verify and and the pictures, images, and in context, and make sure that they are real. Yeah, there are tools.
Okay. So in a developing country like India, it's not as if internet has reached every part of the country. How important role do you think social media is playing here? Is it as important as we're making it out to be, or is it still playing a minor role?
In terms of when you say in a developing country in India, like we got 10.2% of internet penetration. Okay, so
that's a large number in India.
10.2% is you're talking about 250 million people. Okay, it's close to the population of whole America. It's and almost Europe. Okay, and you're talking when you go to Britain, we are talking about 66 million people, and they got only 60. That's the population of some of the states here.
Yeah.
Right? So a 10% growth, 10% of penetration is a huge, massive, humongous audience you're talking about. Okay? So imagine another 5% growth, you're talking about another 100 million.
Adding literally another
so
country.
in terms of numbers, so the impact is massive in terms of impact. It's much more than developed countries in India. For example, say when you look back at the Arab Spring, like Tunisia is not a developed country, but social media played a massive role, a big role, a very important role in the whole Arab Spring, in keeping the Arab Spring on, and Libya, Egypt, and they are not developed countries. You're talking they're poorer than India. So
but
there you go.
If today someone tweets a news from say Twitter within 160 character, does he or she become a new media journalist, or you're a professor at Asian College of Journalism. You teach students about new media. What are the skill sets required to become a new media journalist, and can anyone become a new media journalist?
Not not necessarily. No. Another downside of new media is, and a lot of people actually are claiming to be journalists with new media. Just a tweet in 160, like you said, you put it in actually 140 words or 150 words. No, it doesn't make you a journalist. Whereas, going back to the role of journalism, journalists rather. I talked a little while earlier, and I talked about the role of the audience, the role of your audience. Now, the role of journalists, as it's conceived, has also changed with the new media. So now you're not a journalist anymore. Actually, I don't want to call myself a journalist. I'm a facilitator. So what I'm doing is, I have some information I'm sharing, and you're not publishing. Even the words, and this is had an impact on even the linguistics and the syntax, the English language. You're not a publisher anymore. You're a sharer. You have some information and you're sharing with your audience. So the role of the editor has actually been reduced. If you think it's reduced, yes, I would say that it's been reduced to a facilitator rather than who sets the agenda here now. Not you anymore as a journalist. It's the audience. It's audience.
They set the high level of interactivity.
Yeah, for example, if you look at the program like The Stream in Al Jazeera, like the way they are using Google Hangout to actually collate information from their audience, and the audience are active participants in that program. It's one of the most beautiful programs you should watch. Yes.
So what, according to you, is the future of social media?
Future of social media, yes. It's four-dimensional storytelling.
All right.
It's called, if you look at, it just came out in America in July, and yes, I'm teaching my students about that. It's called Meograph. Meograph is, you have in print or in television, you have only 3 dimensions. You have the story, you have multimedia content, and you have space. And we are just with a platform like Meograph, and we are pushing the boundaries to the next level, which is time and space. So you have 4 dimensions. You can actually tell a story in 4 dimensions. So that's going to be the future. And the role of the journalist will be just a facilitator, and it's going to be Facebook journalism in future.
People blame the new media on radio and broadcast in India. Do you see that happening anywhere?
Look at the statistics. They tell their own story. Look at the statistics. The recent reader survey. So the print. I'm not saying print is rubbish. I'm not saying print is obsolete. The role, the way you look at media is, it has to change. Because for example, in Britain. What's happening is, for a newspaper like Guardian has 5 million more people actually
reading the
online version than the print media, and the same thing is happening in India. So there you go. So yeah, the statistics tell their own story.
So you're one of the people who believe that newspapers have to find other businesses to sustain themselves because they're not going to be making too much money anytime soon?
No, it's going to be the mindset. Newspapers are not going to, as such, they're not going to die. They're not going to die.
So they'll just have to reinvent themselves. Is what you mean?
Yes, yeah, and they had to come up with a new business model. For example, newspaper in Britain is a good example of how the future of newspaper is going to be very concise, and 20p newspaper. And it's a baby paper of Independent, and newspaper is actually making more money than the mother newspaper, because this is very concise. In half an hour you can read the whole newspaper. That's the whole concept of that newspaper. That's going to be the future in print journalism.
So sir, in India, are there any websites as such which portray the real picture of new media? Because we tend to see newspapers carrying the same articles in the web, or even news channels.
And the writing style also does not change. So is there a different writing style that one has to follow for online?
Yeah, it's a good question. That's where I come in. And it's different. Writing for print and writing for radio or television and the web is entirely, totally, absolutely different.
Has that happened in India yet?
No, I wouldn't dare say yes, because it's not happening. And what's happening in India most of the newspapers is a web version of the same what's being printed. Okay, just copy and paste for the web. And that's not actually web writing. Writing is different, and it should be concise. Because the fundamental thing about web is you don't have the reader in web. You have you have to actually grab the attention of search engines first, then only the reader.
So there is a lot of technology coming in.
Not technology, the writing style. You have to use the right keywords to attract the attention of Google, because Google is a machine. You can't talk to Google.
Right.
Google is not a person. So you got to grab the attention of the Google, then only you have the reader. So if you don't have Google, you don't exist anymore. Okay, you might as well not exist at all. So, has it affected the quality of journalism? Yes, it has. But at the same time, and it opens up a lot of challenges as well and opportunities. You got to be able to convince. You got to be able to communicate with machine and man at the same time, which is a challenge, and which I see as a challenge, and which is exciting. That's going to be the future.
So since the time that you have joined social media and new media journalism, what changes have you seen?
Tremendous. When I switched from print to new media that was back in 1999, and the only new media tool then available was a cell phone, a mobile phone, nothing else. And internet, yes, dial-up connection, no broadband. Broadband existed, no, very few laptops. And yeah, it's fundamentally changed. Now look at how you guys are using new media for. At the tip, everything is information at the tip of the finger, and at the mouse click, and everything is at the tip of just a mouse click away. So Facebook with Twitter, and you can share information much faster, much wider. So it's changed for tremendous. There's been tremendous change with social media.
So your students are going to be taking the new media world by storm?
I wouldn't say they're going to have to actually change mindset. So that's what I'm actually trying to achieve here. It's a mindset. It's a question of mindset. Everything is a question of mindset.
Thank you so much for joining us on the discussion, sir.
You're very welcome.
Light on new media, which is emerging now.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.